Hello friends, this is Dhirenj and you are watching your very own channel English Junction A to Z. Today we are going to learn tenses. What are tenses? How many types of tenses are over there? What is the function of a tense? And many more things. And yes, we are going to learn it in a very interesting manner with lots of examples. So before I begin, I would just like to request you all to subscribe to the channel if you have not done yet. And yes, don't forget to press the bell icon so that you remain updated with the future uploads on this channel. And keep watching this video till the very end so that you don't miss anything. And yes, if you find it useful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. So basically, the tense is the form of a verb. Mind it, form of a verb. And it conveys two things, state and time of an action. So the tense basically means the form of a verb that tells about the state and time of an action. Tenses are broadly categorized into three groups. What are they? Present, past and future. So we can say that a tense has three broad categories: present, past, and the third is future. These are the three broad categories of tense, and these three are further divided into four each. So what are these four? Indefinite, then second is continuous, it is also called progressive, the third is perfect, and the fourth is perfect continuous. These are the four types of present tense, then the same four types of past tense, and the same four types of future tense. So in all we have 12 tenses: present indefinite, past indefinite, future indefinite, present continuous, past continuous, future continuous, present perfect, past perfect, future perfect, present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, future perfect continuous. So in all there are 12 tenses. Now we will begin with the first one, that is the present indefinite tense. So if we talk about helping verbs, we use do and does. Only two helping verbs are used in present definite tense, that are do and does. But there is something tricky about the use of do and does. This do and this does, they are used only for negative and interrogative sentences. So you can use this do and does only in interrogative sentences. It means for affirmative sentence there will be no use of helping verb do or does. So it means no helping verb in affirmative sentence. So this is about use of helping verbs. I think this much is clear to everybody, that if the sentence is affirmative, we will not use helping verb do or does. But if the sentence is negative or the sentence is interrogative, we will have to use do or does. We will later learn when to use do and when to use does. Now let's come to the main verb. When the sentence is affirmative, no helping verb, but main verb will be used in this way. First form of main verb with plural subject. First form of main verb with s or es with singular subject. Singular subject. Now just concentrate on what I have just said, that if the sentence is affirmative, you will not use any helping verb. After subject, you will directly use the main verb. But which main verb? If the subject is plural, you will use the first form of the main verb, that is the present form of the main verb. Go, read, write, drink. If the subject is singular, we will use present form of the main verb, that is the first form of the main verb, but s or es will be added as a suffix in it. So go will become goes, drink will become drinks, write will become writes, etc., etc. So it is for affirmative. But if the sentence is in negative or interrogative, then what are we supposed to do? Helping verb will be used with singular subject, does will be the helping verb plus first form of the main verb. When the subject will be plural, do plus first form of the main verb. So it's very simple. In affirmative sentence, there will be no helping verb, but in negative and interrogative sentence, there will be helping verb, does and do. When the subject is singular, does will be used and first form of the main verb, that is the present form of the main verb, will be used. When the subject is plural, helping verb do will be used and main verb will be used in the present form, that is the first form of the main verb. So helping verb do and does, they will be used only in negative and interrogative. In affirmative sentence, there will be no use of helping verb. Now let's understand the use of helping verbs and the main verbs with the help of some examples. Suppose that I write an affirmative sentence. She likes roses. Now this sentence is in present indefinite tense and the sentence is affirmative because it is a statement, positive statement. It is not a negation, it is not a question. So this kind of sentence is called affirmative. Now you can see very well that the subject she is singular, ek vachan hai ye. So we have not used any helping verb over here. Instead of using helping verb, we have moved to the main verb. Main verb means action word which tells about action. Now the first form of likes is like, but we have added s over here. Why? Because she is singular subject, and when the subject is singular, we will have to add s or es in the present form of the main verb. and roses is object. Now if the same sentence has to be written in negative, it will become she does not like roses. Now see the difference. In affirmative we have written likes. In negative sentence we have written like, and there was no helping verb, but over here helping verb does is to be used. Why does? Because she is singular, so when the subject is singular, does is to be used. So does and the first form of the main verb. So this is for singular subject. Now suppose that the sentence would have taken a plural subject. They like roses. They like roses. Now they is a plural subject, that's why in affirmative sentence we have used like, present form of the main verb, that is the first form of the main verb, without adding s or es. When we used she, it was likes. When we used they, it is like. Now the negative of this sentence will be they do not like roses. Now do has been taken with plural subject, does has been taken with singular subject. Main verb first form is over here, main verb first form is over here. So in negative sentence always you will be using first form of the main verb. The only difference will be in the use of do and does. Do with plural subject, does with negative sentence. Now the same thing will happen with an interrogative sentence. Suppose that I ask you to change this sentence into interrogative. So you will have to use do or does. Now since this is singular subject, we will begin with does. Does she like roses? And if you are using plural subject, you will use do they like roses. So this is how we are supposed to use the helping verbs and the main verbs in present indefinite tense. Now let's look at the functions of present indefinite tense. Now present indefinite tense is used to denote general truth or universal truth. It is also used to denote habit. It is also used to denote custom. It also shows repeated action and practice. Now let's understand these functions with the help of some examples. Shweta often gets late for school. Now Shweta is singular, that's why s has been used with the first form of the main verb and there is no helping verb in between. Now this sentence shows habit. The sun rises in the east. This sentence shows universal truth or the general truth. Dogs bark at strangers. This sentence shows habitual action. So the functions of present indefinite tense are, as you already learned, that it shows habit, it shows general truth, it shows permanent activity, like that. So this is all about present indefinite tense, the use of helping verbs, main verbs and the function of the present indefinite tense have been elaborated over here, and I hope that in future you are not going to commit any mistake in the use of present indefinite tense. So dear friends, very soon I will be coming in your service with the next tense, that is present continuous. For the time being, just try to revise present indefinite tense and do a lot of practice, because maths and grammar are same. They say if you leave me for one day, I leave you for 2 days. So keep practicing. This will make you perfect the concepts of English grammar. Thank you for being with me at this English Junction A to Z.